Welcome to Class 4. This class is all about how we can find information, facts about the world, much more quickly than you might have thought. And in some cases, we can find out things that you just couldn't figure out before. So this is a class in doing the amazing. Let's start with a really interesting problem. What I want to start with is searching by image. Now, we've already talked about using Google image search, but suppose the problem is slightly different and you have an image like this one. I'd like to figure out where this image came from. Suppose your boss sends it to you and says, I want t-shirts with 1 million of these images printed on it. How on earth do you figure out what this image is or where it comes from? We have a technique called search by image. And what we can do here is go to image search. I click on the image search tab. And now here's my image on the desktop. I can take that image and drag it over into Google Images and drop the image here. Okay? Once I do that, that submits that file to Google. Google Image Search then processes that image and looks for matches for other pictures that are on the internet. And you'll see what we've got here. It does a kind of description. It puts up here the query of the best possible description that matches the description of that object. So you see what we've found is the best guess for this image is from the description d'Egypte. So it's a book that was published from Napoleon's invasion of Egypt many years ago. And you can see down here, there are in fact lots of different versions of this original image. This is a lobster being described during Napoleon's visit to Egypt. It's from this original book, and now that's one way we can find it. I don't know how else you would be able to solve that problem, because in an image like that, we just have no idea what the provenance is. How else could we do it? You can do a few other things with search by image. So for example, this is a picture that comes from, well, where does it come from? It's a lovely place. I'd like to figure out where this is. Before search by image, good luck. I have, again, no idea how you'd actually solve this problem. But now that we've got search by image, we can again just drag and drop it onto regular image search, and that will find any images that are out there in the world like this. I'm going to go back to a clean image search box. I happen to have that picture right here. All I know is it says Red Rocks on it. I drop it in here. It does the search. And you can see, again, it generates the best possible matching query that generates images of this kind, Red Rock Canyon Tours. And it turns out, you can see very quickly, that this is actually near Las Vegas, Nevada. So what we've done is gone from an image, used image search, search by image technique, as a way of finding other copies of that image out there on the web. Turns out this was actually an image taken by my office mate who was in Las Vegas. Let's do one more interesting kind of problem like this. I found this in the basement, and I have no idea what it is. One method you can use to search the real world is to take a picture of that thing, in this case, picture on a clean white background, and then I can drag and drop that into my search box. Let's try it and see if we can figure out what that is. So here, let's go back to a clean search box, go to search images. I'm going to drag that picture of that strange looking wrench into my search box. And we can discover it's in fact what's called a foam pail wrench. It's a specific kind of wrench. If you look through these results, you can figure it out. This is a specific kind of wrench used by firefighters to open canisters of foam making material. Who knew? And who knew why this was in my basement? So I think what you could see here is that search by image, as we saw in the very first class, has enormous capability. Filtering by color, filtering by black and white. You can filter by the presence or absence of faces. And with search by image, you can actually take images, pull them into your image search, and look for all the images out there on the internet like that. As we saw with the picture of the lobster, it doesn't need to be the entire image. It could be just a fraction of the image. But generally speaking, the more of the image you can get into your query, that is the image you drag in as a query, the more likely you'll be to find a good answer.